This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 6 o'clock and a Storm Team 6 alert day as the first accumulating snow of the season is set to arrive. Winter weather advisories are posted. I'll have your hour-by-hour timeline.
Crews are ready to hit the road when the flakes fall. We're live this morning with their plan to keep you safe on your drive home.
A Hoosier veteran, tired of getting the runaround on the money he's entitled to. This morning, we're working for you to help him get the benefits he deserves and to prevent the same thing from happening to you.
And a young man displaced after his apartment catches on fire, but he is still having to pay rent. This morning, the warning parents need to hear so you don't waste your money.
And here at 6 o'clock on this Monday, want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana on Monday, November the 11th. It's also Veterans Day.
I am stuck on Sunday, and I fear that tomorrow morning I'll be stuck in the snow.
Yeah, that is a very good possibility because meteorologist Todd Clausen is tracking a whole host of a hot mess headed our way.
Yeah. Can we just go back to yesterday?
It was 60 degrees.
I know.
It was great.
Yeah, so big-time cold fronts heading our way, and that's what's going to help transition us from what was a decent day yesterday to a very wintry-like pattern here in the coming days. So let's talk about this transition from rain to snow. It's going to happen in northwest Indiana between about 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then eventually in much of the middle half of central Indiana, it's between about 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. and then a little bit later down to the south. So the further south you are, it's going to take a little bit longer for that transition from rain to snow to happen. So the entire state is under a winter weather advisory. A few counties to the north where there's going to be a little more lake effect enhancement of the snow under winter storm warnings. As we go into the next few hours, though, you should be just fine. Your morning commute is going to be a decent one. There may be a few sprinkles that start to develop, but no wintry weather whatsoever here across central Indiana. The snow is to our north. You see that? That's what will start to arrive during that time frame that I just mentioned. As far as the temperatures, we're in the 40s right now across the area, but look what happens as we work our way into the evening hours. Temperatures drop to near freezing by 4 p.m. So you just really need to prepare, not so much for what's happening right now, but what's going to happen later on in the day. We get the snow coming in, and then we also get those bitter cold temperatures arriving as the wind picks up. We'll talk about it in more detail coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at traffic. You can see your commute at I-70 and Sherman Drive. Traffic here on the east side is traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No issues right now for your morning commute.
And as Todd just told us, Hoosiers are preparing for the first snowfall of the season, and it's expected to make your evening commute a mess.
Yeah, both INDOT and Indy's Department of Public Works say that they are ready for whatever Mother Nature has in store for us today. And our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with all the details. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. So as you can see behind us, that the morning commute is looking pretty good right now. Things are moving smoothly, but it'll be around that lunchtime hour that you see INDOT and DPW trucks begin to pre-treat the roads. Now, officials say trucks will be on the interstates around noon, pre-treating the ground ahead of any potential snow or ice. Their main focus being bridges and overpasses. Now, the full fleet of plows and salt trucks will be on the roads from about 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And whatever happens or doesn't happen, officials say it's the perfect time to get reacquainted with the basic rules of winter driving.
We always say that whether it's construction season or winter weather, take a look at those temperatures. If they're near freezing, you could have some frost on the ground. You could have some ice on the ground, some black ice. You never know what could be out there. So take your time, slow down, maybe give yourself a couple extra minutes, and also give the cars in front of you some room.
Again, you want to be prepared to see dozens of salt and plow trucks out this afternoon into the evening hours. And remember not to follow those salt and plow trucks too closely. Again, just another good reminder for you to keep those winter driving tips in the back of your head. That's leaving a little bit earlier, not speeding, leaving some extra room between you and the car in front of you. And then we also want to remind you to download the Storm Shield app so you can stay up to date on the latest forecast. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, once DPW here in Indy starts driving out there, treating the roads, the city's going to activate the Indy Snow Force viewer. Now, this will show you where crews are at, which streets have been treated or plowed. We'll have a link for that for you on the RTV6 app once it's activated.
Why am I in your living room?
To help me get my money from the VA because I'm just getting stonewalled.
That veteran in Muncie values his privacy.
And he did everything he could before he reached out to RTV6 for help. At stake, thousands of dollars that he is owed.
Tom Lee can fix it or build it in his garage in Muncie. It's his place to get away. The two-time survivor of a heart attack served in the military from 1979 through 1982. Since April, he's been expecting a refund of $5,000 from the Veterans Administration.
This is just outrageous that I'm here.
Yes.
When you call, they should say, Mr. Lee, your money, we're going to FedEx your money. It'll be there Thursday.
Tom has a tool for almost everything, and he was confident that he had the skills in his personal toolkit to resolve this issue with the VA. But he says he could not make any progress.
I've been on, whenever I call, I'd be on hold for up to a half hour. I mean, I'm in decent shape, mind and everything, but can you imagine some of these guys who, you know, have come back from Iraq or Afghanistan, or the elderly veterans, you know, sitting there having to wait, and I mean, it's just not right. I just get run around every time I call them.
RTV6 asked the VA to help us track his money. We learned that since Tom had hired an advocate months ago, the advocate was entitled to a portion of Tom's claim. So there was a delay in verifying and processing the payments. In the end, Tom received his money.
So grateful. I mean, I just, words can't tell how grateful we were for you to step into our lives.
Well, we're just happy that we could help. Results for him there in Delaware County, but veterans, Meredith, can hire attorneys to help them with their cases, and these cases involving the VA at times can be very, very complicated.
And Raphael, you were telling me there is a cost to get that help.
There is a cost, and it's legal. The VA allows lawyers to charge up to 20% of a veteran's claim. Tom was expecting $5,500, but instead he received just over $4,400. The lawyer got more than $1,000. Now, people, Meredith, should get paid for the services that they render. I believe in that, right? You do a job, you should get paid. But it seems that the VA in this case, and all of these cases, should help veterans get their full money without having to pay a fee.
And you just got a push alert at home from the RTV6 app about this story. You can open the alert and share it with your friends and your neighbors so they know what to do if they find themselves in a similar situation.
Time right now is 6:08. Thousands of students are deciding their futures before the school year is even over. The IPS Showcase allowed families to look at all of their school options. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live with what families need to do if they missed that big event that was held on Sunday. Hey, Alyssa.
Hey, you guys. So families filled Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Sunday to learn about different programs and schools offered by the IPS school district. Now, this was also a chance for them to enroll their students in the 2020-2021 school year. Now, there are about 70 different programs and schools to pick from within IPS, and the showcase was a chance for parents and students to come speak with representatives, see demonstrations, and participate in activities to give them a sample of the learning environments in each program. But if you didn't make it, that's okay. The enrollment lottery for next school year just opened at the start of the month. The first round lasts until the end of January, with the second round starting in February. This enrollment is first come, first serve, and how it works is families can choose up to 10 schools per student, putting their top choices of schools and programs first. Then they'll be matched with one of those schools or programs. Seats in the district's choice programs are in high demand, so if you are interested in enrolling your child in one of those, it's best to apply very soon. IPS IPS lottery enrollment is open until April 30th. And if you didn't come to the showcase on Sunday and you are curious about some of those programs, that's okay. You can still find out more at myips.org. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
The time now is 6:10. A helicopter pilot who crashed while attempting to land at a Boone County business is recovering this morning. The helicopter crash happened just after 1 Sunday afternoon in the parking lot of the XPO Logistics. Police say 3 people were on board. They are contractors from Chicago who have been working on the building. Police have not said what caused that chopper to crash.
Decatur Township is mourning the loss of one of their firefighters this morning. Lieutenant Tracy Hayden died yesterday after a battle with leukemia. The 38-year-old was diagnosed in April. According to the Supporting Heroes website, the disease is believed to be the result of being exposed to toxic chemicals when he investigated a chemical storage fire. The diagnosis came less than 4 years after he was exposed to those chemicals. Hayden joined the fire department in 2002. Details on his funeral have yet to be announced. Here at 6:10 on your Monday morning, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. Todd has what we can expect when we head out the door.
Yeah, as you walk out the door and you get in your car, one thing I need you to do if you haven't done so already, and I had to do it this morning, is grab that snow brush and throw it in your car. You do not need it this morning. Your morning drive, we're going to give you the green light. A few spotty showers will develop here across the area, but no snow. The evening drive, though, completely different. At that point, the rain has turned to snow. The temperatures have tumbled. So we need to give you the red caution light here. You're really going to need to slow down. The time frame, I think you really need to focus on. There'll be some snow falling here throughout the afternoon hours, but as this cold air comes in and once the sun sets, that's when I think the roads will potentially slicken up the quickest across the area. So this cold air will come rushing in with the passage of this cold front. We're in the 40s right now, some 30s to the north. Some rain showers develop here mid-morning. It's snowing in northern locations already by the noon hour. And then that snow will overspread central Indiana from northwest to southeast. By 6 p.m., look at your temperatures. Everybody is at or just below freezing in most locations. The snow is falling. We'll talk about your snowfall totals coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Low unemployment rates in the Hoosier State can make finding workers difficult. Just ahead at 6:14 in Hiring Hoosiers, I take a look at how one local franchisee is using a multi-generational approach to attract skilled employees.
Plus, you just heard Todd's forecast, and this is Winter Weather Preparedness Week right here in Indiana. Storm Team 6 is helping you stay ahead of whatever winter throws our way this season. Tune in to our special report, Weathering Winter in Indiana, tomorrow night right here on RTV6 at 8 o'clock. The time now is 6:12, and you're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative works to connect you to job opportunities, resources, and education, no matter your age.
But we know that age can unfortunately be a big barrier to employment for some people.
That's right. So this morning, I'm learning how Culver's is using a multi-generational approach to add workers during this time of low unemployment. Customers at this Noblesville Culver's are asking about the butter burgers, the cheese curds, and something else.
They're always asking me, how old are you? You're still working?
Their proud employee, Jerry Ann Overly. And while asking someone's age can be a taboo topic, Jerry answers with pride.
I don't mind. Customers ask me a lot.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I'm 78 years old. I'll be 79 in April.
Jerry works part-time at the location, serving customers and cleaning up tables. The nurse by trade has also worked in the food industry and has even run her own business.
I've always said if I was going to work anywhere, it would be at Culver's because I love their custard. So one day I saw the flavor and I thought, oh, I really like that one. So I went in to get it and there was a sign on the door. They were taking applications and I went, must be a sign.
She's actually our oldest employee and one of our best employees.
Jeff Meyer is the franchisee, and he says their workplace thrives on playing on the strengths of the folks in their multi-generational workforce.
It's just so unique how she treats the guests, and she's just that warm feeling that you get when you're around her, and she shows up every day.
The young kids are great to me. They call me Abuela. and I love it. I don't mind being their grandma at all.
From high school students landing their first-time job to retirees like Jerry, each generation has something to bring to the table.
What the kids have taught me, a lot about the cell phone and how to work that sometimes, and they just give me their young ideas.
You hire good people to bring out the good in other people.
I try to teach them eye contact.
And looking to the future, there's a number of opportunities inside Culver's for you, no matter if you're young or just young at heart. Jeff tells me at their locations, they employ around 700 people and continue to grow each year.
We're looking at hiring another 250 over the next 30 to 60 days throughout our organization.
Culver's and Meyer Foods organization works to train team members to be the best they can be, and there's a lot of room for growth within that organization. They do workshops and trainings as well as host mentor programs where you can start from the bottom and maybe eventually work your way up to owning a Culver's someday. So if you want to learn a little bit more and apply for a job as a team member with Culver's, you can visit our website, hiringhoosiers.com, and just click on that story.
The time now is 6:18 in Hoosiers. Here we go. Our first test of the year. Woo. Todd Clausen, this evening it's coming. Make it easy, Todd. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it's going to be, but as we always tell you, when we start to get this wintry weather, you just got to slow down, and this is our first foray into accumulating snow across the area. I know we had some snow showers on Halloween, but today is going to be our first big test. That's why it is a Storm Team 6 alert day. So it's fine right now. Your morning commute's not an issue, but this is what we'll deal with throughout the day. Falling temperatures. We've already hit our high for the day today. Eventually, rain will transition over to snow, and then the evening drive is the one you really need to focus on, especially as I've been mentioning all morning, once the sun sets. I think it'll be snowing throughout the daytime hours, late afternoon, but it's not until after the sun sets that I think that the roads will become slick across the area. Of course, on grassy areas, the snow could accumulate a little bit sooner. 39 in Kokomo, 44 in Indy right now, still 45 in Bloomington. So as you walk out the door, you may not think you want the hat, you may not want the gloves. Trust me, you'll need them later on this afternoon. Winter weather advisory will go into effect across the entire state. Winter storm warnings to the north, where there'll be some more significant snow, and that's due to the lake enhancing that snow. So here's radar right now. A few sprinkles, definitely a possibility for your morning commute, but all the substantial precipitation still up to our north. And it's a pretty solid band of snow. So that band of precipitation is going to sink to the south. Now, initially, it starts off as some rain showers across the area throughout the morning. So it's going to take a little while for the colder air to come in. So here's the timeline for you. We'll go through it hour by hour. Southern locations, you hang on to the dry conditions a lot longer here throughout the day. So plenty of opportunity to get out and about this morning. But rain showers here by mid-morning, transitioning to snow in northern locations as we get closer to the noon hour. Should still just be rain showers in and around the metro area. Forecasting the transition between about 1 and 2 o'clock from the rain to snow here in the metro area. It's rain showers down to the south, and then by 4 or 5 o'clock, everybody's dealing with snow. This is the critical time. The precipitation will be the most intense this evening. The sun will be setting, and the temperatures will be near freezing. That's why the bulk of this accumulation, unfortunately, is going to happen throughout the evening commute. And then we taper everything off here to just some snow showers throughout the overnight hours. Generally about 1 to 3 inches across most of the area, with these 3-inch totals being mainly across northern locales. But take a look at these temperatures as we work our way throughout the course of the day today. We start off, as I mentioned, in the 40s. We're still above freezing by the noon hour at 39, but then we fall back down into the 30s, and we're near freezing by 5 p.m. So that's the critical time frame. Then overnight tonight, the snow comes to an end. That's the good news. The bad news, 10 to 14 degrees tomorrow morning for us, with wind chill values near 0. So definitely some slick spots will be around even once the snow comes to an end tomorrow morning. And then a high of only 25. Eventually, highs get back up into the 40s by the end of the week.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads as you're heading out there this morning. Our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, is in our live drive vehicle. And this is a dash cam view as he travels eastbound on I-70 towards Mount Comfort Road. road. Now, just a heads up, if you're traveling in this direction towards that area, we do have scheduled construction here. The off-ramp scheduled to be closed on eastbound I-7 to Mount Comfort Road there until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Obviously, with some weather moving in, that could wrap up sooner, but of course, we'll keep you updated. Right now, everything's traveling up to speed.
Good morning, Indiana is on the road to your holiday spectacular. You can see the Indianapolis Ballet's production, yes, of the Nutcracker. Keep watching for this morning's word of the day to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see that amazing show. The time now is 6:22, and you're watching Good Morning, Indiana.
Official tire retailer of the Indianapolis Colts.
It is 6:24, and it's time to see what is trending at 6. We've had a lot of terrible stories about the wildfires, but here is a good story. A campfire survivor unveiling a unique sculpture intended to be a beacon of hope for the campfire survivors. The sculpture, called the Ridge Key Phoenix, is made up of thousands of keys molded together in the shape of phoenix rising from the ashes. The sculptor says some of the keys belong to those who died in the campfire.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
The fame continues for one feline last week. You remember this? A black cat delayed Monday Night Football. Now it's on the Dallas Cowboys starting roster. In a tweet announcing this week's lineup, the team listed the feline as MVP Rally Cat. Although it won't be able to fill its new role yet, MetLife Stadium officials are still searching for the cat.
I wonder how much the cat will get paid.
Signing bonus?
Yeah, the morning drive for a North Dakota man has gone to the birds. Gobble, 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 because Roger the turkey is obsessed with this brightly wrapped car. Recently, Roger spent 10 minutes inspecting the car at a busy intersection. When police couldn't catch the bird, they had the driver slowly make his way to a nearby park with Roger trotting along. We are happy to report that Roger has trotted his way into a Thanksgiving friendship, and he's safe. That's the key thing. That bird is safe this morning.
Well, you know, turkeys do that because they see their reflection and they think it's another turkey sometimes.
A mate.
Yes, and so they'll even peck at the cars and ruin people's cars. So.
They can. I read this thing in New Jersey. This one town's getting overrun by turkeys because it's mating season. They're not friendly, and so.
And they're like, "Wow, that is a good-looking turkey."
Right?
And they don't realize, you know, that it's really them.
And if you are in New York, you'd say that New Jersey's full of turkeys.
That's true. And Canadian geese. But we all have that problem. All right, outside right now we are dealing with quiet conditions. However, the snowplow's on there because you'll see them on the streets later on this afternoon and this evening, as some rain showers will transition to all snow as temperatures tumble throughout the day. So this is the warmest part of the day, and then by the time we get to the evening drive, right around freezing. About 1 to 3 inches of snow is possible by later on tonight.
Tom, thank you. A young man is out of his apartment this month after a fire and is looking for temporary lodging.
That would be bad and inconvenient enough, but now his landlord is telling him he still needs to pay his rent.
Yeah, working for you, John Matarese looks into a catch in many apartment leases so that you don't waste your money.
We have a warning to all renters and parents of young renters. If your apartment became uninhabitable because of a fire, flood, or wind damage, you don't have to pay the rent, right? Think again. Patty Cordis looks around her son's apartment building.
Started on this side.
2 weeks ago, fire damaged the building, forcing 6 tenants out. It left her son, Alex Garcia, a full-time landscaper, with no place to live. But making matters worse,
they charged me a late fee. They actually called me the next day. The next day the rent was due. So they were making the payment. I told them no, I'm not living there. There's no reason to pay the rent.
That's right. The manager told him to pay his rent or face a penalty. And now they're asking you for a late fee?
And corporate requires rent. That's just what they told us.
Like a lot of us, Alex was under the impression that if your apartment becomes uninhabitable through no fault of your own, you don't have to pay the rent unless they give you an alternate place to live.
So I asked him, then are you going to place them into another unit in a week? Then my son has no problem paying the rent.
No one was in the office when we stopped by, but a manager told us later by phone, no comment. So what are your rights? An attorney specializing in landlord-tenant law, Michael Spillane, tells us almost every state has an implied warranty of habitability. That requires landlords to provide a livable unit or a substitute. Did they give you another apartment?
No.
Despite that, Spillane says Alex should place his rent money into a temporary escrow account, which can be set up at any local courthouse. That way you can legally dispute paying for an apartment that you can't even live in.
So never assume you can skip that rent check just because you can't live in your apartment. I know that's crazy, but it's how leases work, so be careful and don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Police are investigating after a man was shot and killed last night on the east side. This happened on Tina Marie Circle, about a block east of German Church Road. Officers arrived at that scene around 6 o'clock in the evening and found a man lying just outside a vehicle. She later died at a hospital.
Police continue to investigate after 3 teens were shot Saturday night on the city's west side. This happened around 9 on North Livingston Avenue. That's near West 16th and North Tibbs Avenue. The victims range in age from 13 to 16 years old. All 3 victims are expected to survive.
Former Roncalli guidance counselor Shelley Fitzgerald is sharing parts of her faith journey. Speaking to her church Sunday, she said her faith has been an instrumental part of her life. Fitzgerald was fired after the Archdiocese of Indianapolis found out about her same-sex marriage. She has since filed a federal discrimination lawsuit against Roncalli and the Archdiocese.
With freezing temperatures and snow possible, the Veterans Day parade scheduled for today here in downtown Indianapolis has been canceled. Veterans Day service will also move from the North Steps of the World War Memorial to Pershing Auditorium inside. That service is scheduled to begin at 11 a.m.
The Colts may have lost to the lowly Dolphins, but there was a happy moment at halftime. Dwight Freeney became the newest member of the Colts Ring of Honor. Freeney played 11 of his 16 seasons in Indy, and several of his teammates from the Super Bowl 41 championship team came back for Sunday's ceremony. Freeney is the first defensive player to be inducted into the Ring of Honor.
And it is 6:30 here. I want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. It is Veterans Day and a Storm Team 6 alert day.
Don't be deceived. Right now it looks A-okay. This afternoon, not so much.
Yeah, Todd, what time can we expect things to start to change?
Yeah, it's mainly this evening. I think that's the biggest concern, but you'll probably start to see those changes by about mid-afternoon here across the area. So unfortunately, we had to break out the snow graphics a little bit earlier this year than we probably would have liked to, but we're in alert mode. Not so much for this morning, as we mentioned. There's just a few spotty sprinkles in the forecast for your morning drive. Not expecting any issues. It's that noon to 4 o'clock time frame that rain transitions over to snow, and then this evening, especially once that sun sets, which keep in mind is a little earlier now with the time change at the beginning of the month, that's when I think the roads will have the potential to really start to slicken up. Of course, there could be some accumulation on grassy areas first before it starts to accumulate on the roadways, since yesterday was warm and we're still in the 40s right now. But Storm Team 6 radar is quiet. We'll look for a few sprinkles to develop here this morning, but the heaviest of the precipitation is to the north, which is in the form of that snow, and that's what's going to drop south throughout the day. So you'll see that transition from snow from northwest to southeast as the day goes on. So we're in the 40s probably through the noon hours. No real issues there. It's then transitioning over to the snow. By the time we get to 4 p.m., we're down to near freezing. The wind picks up as well. So as you walk out the door this morning, just prepare yourself for later on this afternoon with the much colder air heading our way. And also, you'll need to give yourself some extra time as that snow starts to fall. Lauren?
Todd, thanks for keeping a close eye on your roads as you're heading out the door this morning. Take a look here at our map. You can see that we do have road construction here at the ramp eastbound I-70 to Mount Comfort Road. That's scheduled to happen throughout the day today. Obviously, the weather could impact that, but just a heads up, if you travel through that area, you may need to avoid that spot. For right now, I want to take a look from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, is in the driver's seat there. This is the dash cam view. He's at the Greenfield exit, hopping back on westbound I-70. He tells us that the roads out in this area are pre-treated for what we can expect later today, so that is good news. Of course, we'll be keeping you updated.
And as Todd mentioned earlier, we could be in for our first slick drive of the season later today, and some of it could go down just in time for the evening rush hour.
That means that road crews with the city and the state are preparing to make sure that your ride this afternoon is safe. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with more on those preparations. And Kelsey, they are ready to go once that rain turns into snow.
Yeah, that's right. They are ready to go. And as you can see behind me, the morning commute right now is moving pretty smoothly. But when you're going to see this take effect is at the lunchtime hour. And that's when NDOT crews and Department of Public Works crews are going to be out pre-treating the road. So it'll be right around that lunchtime hour, like I said, that they'll be out here. Officials say trucks will be on the interstates around noon, pre-treating the ground ahead of any potential snow or ice. Their main focus being bridges and overpasses. The full fleet of plows and salt trucks will be on the roads from about 4 p.m. to 10 o'clock tonight.
Salt is protecting your car. It's protecting everyone else on the interstates from a crash, from anything that could happen from bad weather. So we will always go out there and pre-treat the second we are able to, and ultimately keeps everyone safe.
You can expect to see salt trucks and snow plows out on the roads from noon until 10 o'clock tonight, so be sure to give them plenty of room. And this is a good time for us to remind you about some winter driving tips. The first one being leaving a little bit early. Give yourself enough time. That way you don't have to speed while you're on the roadways. The other thing is leaving plenty of room between you and other drivers. That's including those snow plows and salt trucks, because they do throw stuff off the back as they are going down the road. So just want to give you those driving tips, and then also remind you to download the Storm Shield app so you can stay up to date on this forecast. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. It is 6:35 on this Veterans Day. RTV6 is getting results for a Muncie man who struggled to get answers about the money that he was due.
Lauren, Tom Lee, he served in the military from 1979 all the way through 1982. And since April of this year, he was expecting a refund of more than $5,500 from the Veterans Administration. Now, after we became involved, we were able to find out the reason for the delay, and Tom received his dollars. You just heard his story about 40 minutes ago right here on Good Morning Indiana. But during our conversation, he expressed a serious concern about calling the VA hotline that really raised some alarms for us and put us to work on that situation as well. Listen.
I can truly understand, not that I had thought about it, but I can truly understand why so many veterans are committing suicide. I think a lot of it has to do with this bureaucratic system. Every time that they call, they get the runaround. I've been on...
Can I say something?
Yes.
That's a horrible thing to even think about, don't you think?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
I mean, as you can say it, isn't that
yes, it's hard to say, but I think it's true.
So we began asking questions here on Good Morning Indiana. The VA's general customer service line is 1-800-827-1000. That's open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. The Veterans Administration tells me that response times on that line can vary according to the quantity of incoming calls. So here's another option for you. Veterans can also call the White House VA hotline. That is open 24/7. That number, 855-948-2311. The VA tells me it has trained staff on that line, and the average time for veterans to wait and get their answers called is 10 seconds to get their calls answered. And one more number, and this is really heartbreaking to hear about the number of suicides involving our veterans. You're encouraged to share this with any veteran who is struggling with mental health. The Veterans Crisis Line is 800-273-8255. Make sure when you call that number to press the number 1. So, a lot of information this morning. I posted all of it for you within this story on the RTV6 app, as well as on our website, theindychannel.com.
I'm Alyssa Donovan. The IPS Showcase of Schools happened this weekend. It was a chance for families to come and preview some of the programs and schools offered by the district. But if you missed it, there's still a way to learn more about opportunities. All of those details coming up.
Strength to make a difference.
Welcome back. Choosing an education path that will lead to a successful future. That's what a number of families did over the weekend at the 6th Annual IPS Showcase of Schools.
If you missed the event, you can still learn more about what the district has to offer. And our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning with how to do just that. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good Good morning. So there are a lot of ways to do that, but if you did come to the showcase, you know that the benefit of the event was for families to come and experience some of those programs and schools that IPS has to offer. They were able to see demonstrations, participate in activities, and talk with some of the representatives available. Now, there are about 70 schools and programs, and many families took advantage of this opportunity. But if you didn't, that's okay. You can still get a jump start on enrollment for the upcoming school year. The enrollment lottery is open right now, and families have until the end of January to apply for up to 10 schools for their students for the first round. A second round of enrollment starts in February. Students will be matched with one of the schools. Seats in the district's choice programs are in high demand, so if you are interested in enrolling your child in one of those, it's best to apply very soon. Now, the enrollment lottery closes in April, at the end of April, and then by that point, people will get their final offers for those schools. So if you are interested in that, you need to get enrolled very soon here. There's just 2 rounds, and then you will get those offers from those schools. If you are interested in learning more about the schools and the programs offered by IPS that were featured at the showcase yesterday, you can go to myips.org. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
At 6:42 today, of course, is Veterans Day, and this is the day we take time to thank the men and women for serving our country. If you are a veteran, it's also a day when a lot of people want to show you a free meal or a free discount. A number of restaurants have deals for veterans and active duty service members all day today. Other stores like Colts will also offer veterans discounts, as are all AMC movie theater locations. And there's also free admission to all state parks today for veterans. We have a complete list of all of these discounts right now. You can find them on the RTV6 app as well as the IndyChannel.com. This also happens to be a Storm Team 6 alert day, and Todd's radar is working overtime. Todd, all those sweeps behind you, I'm scared.
Yeah, you know, we're sweeping the entire state for you. And good news is, as you're walking out the door this morning, at least, is we're not picking up much in the way of precipitation. There's just a few isolated sprinkles here starting to develop up in towards the Tipton and Kokomo area. But here's the bulk of the precipitation off to our north. And this is what's going to drop to the south. So things are going to be a lot different later on today than compared to this morning. Typically, we see our high temperatures in the afternoon hours. We've already hit our high for the day today, and this cold front is going to come through this afternoon, and it's going to change our temperatures drastically as this cold air comes rushing in, and it's going to bring the precipitation with it. So as the kids head off to school this morning, you head off to work, you probably don't need the hat and gloves this morning, but I want you to take them or put them in the kids' backpack, because we go from 40 degrees on average this morning with just the chance of a spot sprinkle to when the kids come home from school. At that point, it will be snowing across the area. The temperature is already down to 33 degrees, and the wind chill values will be dropping down into the 20s. So you just kind of have to think ahead. It's one of those days, and of course, with the snow falling, it will slicken up the roadways later on this evening. We'll talk more about that forecast and potential accumulations coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. It was a tough day to be a Colts fan. Coming up, what was supposed to be a winnable game turned into something else. We'll hear from some members of the team and get their take on a tough Sunday right here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
And it's your chance to see the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies in person. Coming up just after the break, you're going to want to watch for the word of the day to win tickets to see the Indianapolis Ballet's The Nutcracker. It's 6:44. We'll be right back.
Fly today at speedway.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana, 6:46 here on your Monday. And here's a live look at your drive on the east side. No problems at I-70 near Sherman Drive.
Earlier, we told you the happy news from Lucas Oil Stadium, and there was happy news, the induction of Dwight Freeney into the Indianapolis Colts Ring of Honor. Now, the not so happy news from the stadium, the game itself did not go so well. As our Brad Brown said yesterday, the airport code for Miami is MIA. In other words, that's the airport code, but that also means missing in action. That's how some might describe the Colts offense in Sunday's game against the Dolphins. Darius Leonard had an interception that led to the Colts' only touchdown on a pass from backup quarterback Brian Hoyer to Jack Doyle. But the struggles for kicker Adam Vinatieri continue. He missed another extra point after the touchdown, and the Colts end up falling to Miami 16-12.
We just got to continue to everyone just execute better. It's lack of execution, lack of energy. total from our complete offense, and we just didn't execute the plays that were called. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough to get a victory. They scored 16 points. That's still not enough. So I don't think we played well. We didn't play enough to help this team win.
Look, they played a lot of man coverage. You got to make plays when they play man coverage, and we made a few, and there was some that we left out on the field. I think, when you look at it, they played tough, they played hard, which I knew they would, being coached by Coach Flores, and you just got to go out and execute better.
The Colts are now 5-4 this season. They're back. They're a game back of Houston for the division lead. They'll try to rebound next week when the Jaguars visit Lucas Oil Stadium.
The Indiana Hoosiers are already going to a bowl, but this coming Saturday, they're going to try and pick up a signature win that could get them into a much bigger postseason game. The Hoosiers travel to Penn State this weekend, and you'll be able to watch that game right here on RTV6. IU tweeted out last night that ABC picked up the game for its national broadcast, and that means kickoff will be here at noon Saturday. Again, that game only on RTV6.
All right. Well, there could be snow on the ground, and that may entice you to stay indoors and watch that game because we are expecting some later today, Todd.
Yeah, it's really this afternoon and this evening that we need to focus on for the potential for the slick conditions. I think your morning commute is just fine, so the alert day is primarily the second half of the day. We'll see some rain transitioning over to snow as those temperatures start to fall. We've already hit our high for the day today, and it gets very slick after sunset. And what I mean by that is during the day, you'll see the snow falling, and it may accumulate on the grassy areas. But the roadways should be fine initially here for a while because yesterday was so warm. And this time of year, if the sun is still up, it takes a lot for the snow to accumulate on the roadways unless it becomes very intense. And the intensity is going to pick up this evening as the sun starts to set. So I really think you need to focus on the evening commute after sunset for the slippery conditions. Winter weather advisory in place for the entire state of Indiana. Winter storm warnings right along the lakeshore, where they'll see a little more in the way of snowfall due to the lake enhancement. Here's radar right now. It's quiet across the area. There's not a whole lot going on. A few sprinkles starting to develop here just north of downtown. More rain starting to develop in central Illinois. So most of us start off with just rain across the area before the colder air comes in and transitions us over to the snow that you see to the north. And this whole band of snow will work its way through the area. So this morning temperatures are in the 40s, but look how quickly they start to drop off once we get past the noon hour. So it's really from 2 o'clock onward, I think, that we run into the biggest issues here across the area. Yes, you'll see some rain showers before that, especially north of Indianapolis. The further south you are, the longer you hang on to the drier conditions. As far as the transition from rain over to snow in the metro area in Muncie and down towards Bloomington, it's probably around 1, 2 o'clock. And then eventually, as we work our way into southern locations, everybody's dealing with snow by about 4 or 5 o'clock, but it's coming down pretty good during the course of the evening drive, and then it will start to wrap up once we get to 10, 11 o'clock this evening. As far as snowfall potential, it's not a huge system for us, and again, a lot of this is mainly on grassy areas initially, and then we'll start to see a little bit more start to stick on the pavement after sunset, but in general, about 1 to 3 inches for most of us across the area. To the north, again, if you get into some of those lake effect enhanced bands up towards, say, Logansport into the Peru area, you could pick up a little bit more than that. But then once the snow ends, look at these temperatures with clear skies and that snow on the ground. We're going into the teens to start your morning tomorrow. Potentially a record low on Tuesday. The record is 14. Wednesday, 12 is our forecasted low. The record is 10, so we may not break a record, but 12 degrees, come on here, in the middle of November. And it's really, really cold. Tomorrow up to 25 degrees for your high, 33 on Wednesday. Still well below normal by the end of the week, but temperatures do rebound back up into the 40s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We do want to show you what you can expect as you head out to kick off your Monday. Shea Goodpaster's in the driver's seat. This is our live drive vehicle, a dash cam view here as he was traveling into the downtown area, into the splits from the east side. Traffic is moving along up to speed. He said he did see a couple sprinkles here and there, not even enough for the windshield wipers, so we'll continue to keep you updated on your commute throughout the day.
It was the sweet sound of victory for 400 high school marching bands from across our state. Coming up, who took the state titles and a show of sportsmanship that will warm your heart.
And if you're in the holiday spirit already, this is the giveaway for you. Right now is your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to see the Indianapolis Ballet's The Nutcracker. All you have to do for your chance to win is head to the IndyChannel.com/contests and enter today's word of the day, sugar plum. Once again, it's sugar plum right there on your screen. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
All the sweet sounds coming from Lucas Oil Stadium Saturday night. The sweetest came from the Avon High School marching black and gold. Avon won another state marching band championship in Class A, beating out last year's champions from Carmel High School. Other bands finishing in the top 10 Saturday include Brownsburg High School and the Marching Pride of Lawrence Township. You saw some of them on the news at noon last week.
In the Class B finals, another Central Indiana band came up really big. The Cougar Pride from Greenfield Central High School won their first ever state championship in marching there. The Cougars finished ahead of the Marching Woodmen from Greenwood High School just a year after the Woodmen won the state title over the Cougars. But here is the really cool part. After the award ceremony, watch this. Okay, the Greenfield Central and the Greenwood bands, they run toward each other at the 50-yard line to congratulate each other on their performances. Look, already Good News Friday on a Monday.
Coming early.
Yeah. In addition to those schools, congratulations also to Northview High School from Brazil. They finished third. And Pendleton Heights also with a top 10 finish on Saturday.
And then out in Class C, Western High School of Rushville won the state title over Edgewood High School down in Ellettsville. Beech Grove had a great finish. They were 4th in Class C. And in Class D, the champions are Lewis Cass High School from up in Cass County. Congratulations to all those students.
Yeah.
We know they work really hard on those performances. Okay, we do want to get one more check of that forecast on a Storm Team 6 alert day.
Alert day for mainly this afternoon, this evening. Your morning commute is fine, but temperatures tumble. The rain changes to snow this evening. By the time we get to 6 p.m., 31 degrees. The road's getting slick, about 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulation by later this evening.
Todd, thanks, and thank you for joining us. We're back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day is on the RTV6 app. Don't forget to download the Storm Shield app as well.
Have a great Monday.